Corn harvest is wrapping up, and of course, it is huge for Nebraska's economy.
Yeah, now's the time to get a check on this year's harvest. Pure Nebraska's David Jesperson is standing by live with an update.
I did eat a lot of candy last night, so I don't know what you guys were doing wrong, but I mean, that's kind of the point of having kids, right, is to have them go gather the candy on Halloween. Today, I am out here at UNL's East Campus, and we're talking about the corn that's behind me. Right now is a big, busy time for farmers as the corn harvest is well underway, so we thought with the 1st of November, we better check in to see how the harvest was doing. And joining me now is Boone McAfee, with the Nebraska Corn Board to talk more about that. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's jump right in. How does this year's harvest look?
So far it's looking really good. In terms of where we were last year, we're about at that same mark right now. The USA report just came out yesterday saying that we're about 70% complete with corn harvest. So we definitely do have a little bit left to go. As you'll see, if you're outside of Lincoln, there are going to be a few fields that look like this one behind us. But otherwise, a lot of them are going to be, harvested and complete right now.
I know we've had predictions at the beginning of the year that were really high. They came back a little bit. What kind of numbers are we expecting to see as the corn starts coming in?
So as Nebraska is a very diverse state in terms of our landscape and our weather patterns. So as we hear kind of all these yields coming across the state, that's really reflected in what we're hearing. Some guys are seeing, really great yields above average. Other places maybe a little more disappointed about what they're seeing. And that could be from a number of reasons, such as, weather, pests, things like that. But as one person described it, what we're seeing, it's, variable, but still favorable. And that's probably a good way of saying Nebraska in general, because we are still projected to see about 1.7 billion bushels produced this year, which would be a record if we end up seeing that.
What's nice, one thing that's been kind of helping us out is that the weather, especially in the last week or two, for much of the state has been very helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Weather like this is really perfect, outside of some, morning fog or humidity like that. The days have really been great for the last couple of weeks, so a lot of times our farmers are able to get out, get a lot done in one day. And as going forward, if we can keep this weather up, probably within a week and a half to 2 weeks, we're really going to be getting, really close to that finish line.
It's kind of been an interesting year because it's been kind of patchy weather-wise. Sometimes the state is fairly uniform, but there really has been pockets that have had really good weather and some really bad weather. We've had hail damage in places, wind damage in others, and absolutely perfect weather in some parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, it's very variable across Nebraska. Kind of the south central Nebraska and the panhandle there, maybe a little more drier this summer. Other places like the very edge of eastern Nebraska got a lot of rain, in some cases even kind of flooded out some of our fields. But as always, weather is just one of those biggest variables that farmers face because it's unpredictable and we never really know what we're going to get.
All right, well, thank you so much, Boone, for joining us this morning, and we'll talk to Boone a little bit later on in the show because one of the big questions that everybody has is with these predictions of these heavy yields, what does that do with the commodity prices and what does that mean for the Nebraska economy? We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later in the show. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio, John and Taryn.
Okay.